Yo, boys, back with another video. Today we're going to be doing, yes, yet again another video. I have been a little bit late on these videos. I've been going to bed a little bit early, and I haven't been playing too much. Now, the real question is I ended up getting my Hpal. I ended up so me and the DH here. That's my brother. It's my main priest. We're in full greens right now. A pretty decent MMR. I'm surprised he didn't die in the opener, to be honest. So here we almost lose in the opener. I even lay on hands to him and he still almost died because obviously he's playing it with green gear versus a sub rogue. The worst thing that you can do versus a sub rogue is not only be a DH, but is have zero gear. So you're facing people that have best in slot current item level. And yeah, we're sitting over here with the good old fashioned green arenos, you know what I'm saying? So there's that. We had a fun time. So here, um, in no world should we ever win this. No world at all. But since I'm the god that I am, we end up getting precog for free. I end up searing glaring him. At this point, he can't do anything. I'm going to keep him in combat because I know how to play rogue. So he's going to try to, he's probably going to gouge me. He can blind me. I think I bopped the blind because at this point, I had to run into the bomb. And because my guy doesn't have trinket, he ends up just charming me, which is very questionable. Good charm, I guess. I end up Tear of Deliviance, so then I get the extra healing, or else I'm literally. You'll see that I literally do no healing. Um, yeah, it's bad. It's bad. Then again, I don't have gear like at all. Like it's negative gear, but it's definitely difficult. I'm not gonna lie. I do have two set, but that's it. I have two pieces of conquest gear I think during this maybe, and that's about all I got. So here I just bop him. He ends up canceling his mind control because he's trying to purge my stuff most likely. Just kidding, he's not purging it. Nice. So Searing Glare's really good because obviously they can't do anything, and this guy kept just kicking me while I had Searing Glare up, so he ended up just gifting me the good old fashioned pre-Coog. So here he kidneys, he cheap shots, so he gets pretty good CC here. So here I just trinket because I'm like, yo, if I fall behind on healing now, for some reason when you sack CDs, it doesn't work. I literally sat a full fear and I pre-sacked the fear. I don't know if it's happening to everybody else, but this needs to get fixed. Like, the second he takes any damage, any at all, even if it's a tiny bleed, the blind should automatically, or any CC should automatically break. The fact that it doesn't is just ridiculous. Because I just had a 6-second fear with full sack on him, and the rogue was on top of my DH doing damage. That's just crazy to me. So we got no value out of that sack because literally I just sat at full fear, so I couldn't do anything off of it. So here I'm just denouncing the rogue when I can, because denouncing, not allowing him to crit at all is actually really good. So I dispel the fear. He's radiancing. At this point, dampening's high. I have no bombs, no bubble, no trinket. I have sack coming back up again. That's a good thing about sack, Hellies. You have sack pretty frequently. Your healing's kind of dookie, but then again, I pre-sack him around the corner. At this point, now they have to go me. So the reason I did that is we're delaying his go. It's too high dampening. He's not going to be able to top this guy off. So we need a win here, like now. He ends up pre-fading my blind like a god. This is really bad for us right here. So he does have evasion. He actually, look at this. He pre-evasions at 100% HP, and he's almost dead. He's literally 1%. So that's what I talk about is they should never lose this in any world possible, shape, or form. But since we're actually, pretty solid at the game, we end up absolutely beating these people, which is mind-blowing. Honestly, mind-blowing. They should never. It should be a 10 out of 10 win for them. It should be impossible for us to win this game. But we ended up somehow winning this with completely outplaying and doing literally everything possible to play him. I was gonna message him, but yeah, I couldn't even get it off, so it's unlucky. Rogue Mage, I get really what's the word here? Horny. I get horny off of seeing the good old fashioned Rogue Mage. I think anybody that knows me knows I love facing Rogue Mage. It's my favorite comp. It's the only comp that you actually have to play good against or do anything that's not just sit behind your keyboard, click number 1 and 2, and win the game automatically. Hodge blind. So here, I'm dead to air because I pre-sacked. I'm running 100% sack here. Because I know if this guy gets hit in a bomb or anything, he's going to die 100 on about 2 globals. So here they swap me. I'm most likely going to send. Alright, nice. He darknesses, so I can hold my bubble and trinket. He gets block here, so really good block. Rogue comes back out. I sear and glare the rogue, so really nice. At this point, we have trinket, we have bubble, we have double bop, we have land hands, and we have sack in 20 seconds, and we have evasion trinket and his nether. So we're really good on CDs here. So they need really good solid setups here. So here this guy decides to 1v1 him back on the corner, and I just bop his entire go. That's hilarious. Very unlucky for this guy. So here he swats me without the mage on him, so they're not going to do much here. Then yeah, so that didn't work out. So here I just trinket the blind. There's no point of sending a blind, and there's no point at all. I could have sacked, but he was in the bomb, so there's no point. So at this point he just evasions, so he should be fine, you think? So here I'm sending triple sheeps into a triple DR or into a double cheap shot. At this point, he can't sheep me. He can't do anything. At this point, he's kind of dead. I don't know how this mage is even alive. Again, this guy has full greens on. He had no set at the time. He had nothing. So this is both of us being zero gear at all. So you can imagine if, my DH and I had gear. Yeah, it would be really hard for us to lose as healer DPS. Same thing with Cat. When me and Cat play a healer DPS comp and I heal, or even if I'm playing a DPS, we usually can pretty much farm everybody as long as we're playing like a meta comp. But yeah, we end up absolutely farming the roguey mage, and we get him into the next game. So here, this game's like halfway over. Um, Overall, it was questionable. I'm not gonna lie. So I have a right paladin sitting on top of me the entire game, very nice, and you're pretty much just gonna run around a pillar the entire game. That's literally it. So here I hodge him. He's probably gonna trinket. Just kidding. He doesn't know how to do that yet. So here I'm just gonna run around the pillar. Literally just running around the pillar, trying not to let my guy die. He has evasion, so if he needs it. This guy pops his little tiny, he had a little wings. It looks like he's swapping me again. So yeah, I need to like sit on the pillar way more often, to be honest. And it's really bad if we stack because we're so under geared that he's actually killing both of us without wings right now. That's how you know it's very unlucky. So here I try to fake cast him, no point. I just go for my tier of Deliviance. Because guess what? If I don't do that, we're going to be in a very unfortunate situation. Because without that's the only ability that I have that makes my heals do anything. If I don't have that up, I'm not doing healing. Like even with it up, as you can see, my heals are still questionably. Like compared to my Wrestler Druid or my Disc, I mean honestly Disc is pretty bad too. Like compared to like overall healing, you have a bunch of utility, but like, oh my god, does the healing just feel like I swear, Wrestler Druid and Mistweaver is like the only healer that feels like you actually do healing. But like mainly Wrestler Druid. Wrestler Druid just feels so solid. I don't even have Gear on mine, and if I do like triple my healing on my Hpal. And I don't have to do much in general, because I can't really die unless they go me like out in the open. But honestly, yeah, I enjoy Hpal to be honest. I think it's a fun spec. I think it's like one of the only healers that actually takes a brain cell, other than like maybe like maybe Wrestler Shaman, just because it's like it's not completely broken yet. Usually when it is broken, it's obviously takes negative brain cells. You just Riptide into a totem, Riptide, 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 and you're pretty much good to go. But overall, there's not much to it. I ain't gonna lie, ain't much to it. These games are actually really long too, by the way. These are like to put this. I only got 5 clips out of this video, and usually out of an 18-minute video, I'd have like 8 or 7 clips. These games are extremely long, by the way. Like these are 60% damp minimum games, unless it's Rogue Mage. So that should tell you that, yeah, it's definitely not it's not a fun experience at 1500. Even if we're on a huge, win streak, it's like we don't gain anything for that. Like being on a win streak is kind of just irrelevant because you don't benefit anything. Like you don't gain any more rating. I could be 1700 more at 1400, and I'm still gaining 10 points. Like I don't know what. It's just like the amount of brain damage is actually just incredible. I've never seen it. Apparently they added inflation in Solo Shuffle. I guess we'll have to see that. Now I haven't seen. Nobody's talked about it, so I assume nobody's cared enough to actually try it out. Because the last 3 times that they say they're adding inflation, it did nothing. When they say they're adding inflation, what you think is, oh well, they're gonna add in, they're gonna add in the MMR buff where you're actually gonna be able to gain MMR instead of you literally setting at 10 rating. Like what happens is you gain 30 rating and then you gain 30 MMR. When it should be you gain 60 MMR, you gain 30 rating depending on how much you go. You need to be making double your MMR than your CR. That way the next time you go like 3-3, you're gaining 10 or 15 points. That's how MMR should work, and that's how it worked in Season 1. That's why it was so easy to push and actually fun. Obviously, Arena and Dragonflight, it hasn't been good yet. Obviously, it's not going to be. Especially when they're trying to make 5 other different versions as well. I mean, you can't really expect, a multi-billion-dollar company to know how to do that yet. They're still in the beginning stages, ladies and gentlemen. So we can't expect much out of him. So this is Arena, boys. This is how it is. Hopefully Solo Shuffle gets better, because that's the only thing that's even solid. Actually, it's not even solid in this game, but it's the only reason I still play it, is Solo Shuffle. Because obviously Arenas has been garbage the entire expansion, but, you know, at least Solo Shuffle was solid. At least we know that it can be solid. Like, at least the MMR-wise to it. Obviously, it's still annoying when people leave, or you go 3-3 and you gain nothing. But, like, overall, you know, it definitely better. But here, as you can see, I try to rep this guy, but he is not. Oh, yep, I get him this time. So here he's going to run towards his Hpal. He knows his Hpal is dying. Again, the gear difference is crazy. These guys have a mill HP, and we're sitting up here with, like, the unbelievable. It's actually crazy. Maybe my healing is going to be a lot better once I have gear, obviously, but for right now, it definitely feels bad. As you can see, Cat texted me mid-game. I obviously had to ignore that bitch. Can't be texting. I can't be texting no e-girls at the moment. When I'm in the game, it's focus time. No e-girl time. We ended up playing threes after this, and we actually got a decent amount of. We actually got like double cab off it. So, um, yeah, there's that. There is indeed that. So yeah, pretty much I sack him high at this point. At this point, we kind of like we're pretty fine. We have evasion. He actually ends up trinketing air. Very nice, because he's getting that. He's getting ballsy with his CDs at this point. I mean, at this point, these guys are just like they're getting completely dumpster dived. They have no idea what's going on in the game, which is very unlucky because they had to face a back-to-back rank 1 gladiator Fortnite championship leader. But this guy's running up in the air. That should tell you enough. And I end up dispelling the huge. I am running. Listen, if you're wondering how I'm targeting these people, it's literally tab target. That's all I'm doing is tab target. So if you are curious what's going on in the game, uh, if you tab target, you're gonna have a good time. Now, what's not gonna be a good time is when you're trying to CC somebody and you have to stare at them in order to CC them. So the 5-head strat is you have to stare at whoever you want to CC, and it'll most likely target them unless they're all stacked. Then it's kind of GG's. Then you're just guessing at that point. But usually, if you stare at them, it'll target the person that you're staring at. It's kind of weird. But it ends up working out for me. Obviously, I don't have a mouse with keybinds. Even if I did, I'd still have to get used to it. I'd probably be a bot for a while. But I'd only use it for like targeting maybe, and like maybe like blind macros and stuff. But here, DK, Shaman. Honestly, if these guys were actually pretty solid, we probably would have got absolutely dumpster dived. These guys have a million HP. Again, it's actually disgusting how much HP these people have. You have to imagine how much gear they have too. They're probably like 484 or something. Like they're top notch geared. So here I pre-dispel the stun, whatever it's called. So here my DH is gonna darkness. I think we almost died through darkness. We'll see here. So we're still in darkness, still in darkness, still in darkness, still in darkness. Let's see how fast we die to this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, never mind. Okay, this ain't the go. I thought this was go, but my brain, shit. Maybe I have brain damage. I don't know. Maybe this game's giving me brain damage. I don't know. But here I try to fake cast rep. I get a full rep here. He trinkets my rep like a god. So again, this is a mini go. Um, we're looking pretty okay here. Not gonna lie. His first go was kind of all counteracted by darkness, which was really nice. Cause if he my DH probably did a lot of healing off that. Pretty much like 5 or 6 seconds of its entire burst, and he didn't even bother gripping us out of the darkness either. So that was great. Instead, this guy just wants to grip me on top of him the entire game. This guy hexing me, breaks the hex, disorients me for no reason, stuns me for no reason. I don't know what this guy's doing, but I believe the strat that he's doing is called I don't know what the fuck I'm doing type of strat. I ain't gonna lie. So here I'm killing the totem here, big damn. Here I'm going to use my Denounce. Denounce versus Frost DK is the best thing that you can do. I don't know what that was, but for some reason my just searing glare went to outer space. It like literally went the opposite direction of where I wanted it to go. We ain't gonna talk about it. So here I full Haj. We don't get anything. He's literally 100% HP because we're both stunned. This is big damn from them here. I get kicked very bad. At this point, I'm getting my big fat heal. You'd think this would do unhealable healing, but it actually did negative healing. Like, it literally did 10 or 15% of my HP as one of my biggest heals that I have. That's crazy. And by the way, this shaman has yet to actually do anything in the game at all. Meanwhile, I am sitting there healing my life. And you can imagine how these guys don't know what they're doing by how the damage built down is. Look at my DH's damage and look at the DKs. As a fully geared DK, you'd think that we would be dead in the opener every single game, every time. But thankfully, we're playing at 1800, or even actually 1800 is actually pretty high for. You'd be surprised. In Arena, 1800 is like 2200 or 2300 in any other season. So it's actually it's definitely not fun. I would say it's like unrewarding to play Arena at all right now. You don't it's just like pointless. But here I DR Hajim. You think well, look at this land hands. What healed this guy right here? What healed him? He just lay on hands himself without casting a single button. He healing Tide Totem into an Ascendance and literally went from 30% to 70% to 100% in less than a second. After all that work to get him down, he just clicks one button and heals himself up to full. At this point in time, we're in trouble. I have bops, but I ended up getting a Searing Glare here. I think I tried to fake cast Denounce here. Okay, I hate that random stun so much. It's the most random thing out of all life. And I think it has like a duration on its stun. I don't think it can just perma stun you either. So here I Tear of Deliviance. Obviously, you want to get that Tear of Deliviance done because, you know, if you don't get it off, you ain't doing no healing. I could have bubbled this, but I ain't gonna do that. Because I gotta save my bubble for the worst case scenario or else I'm going to die and it's not gonna be a fun time for me. So like right now, this is where I would bubble. Let's see if I hold here. Nope, okay, I just bubble. I'm like, yo, not happening. This guy's full bursting. He's actually full bursting me on my bubble, so that's okay. Very nice. And this is pretty much the end of the video. If you guys agree that Hpal is the most broken healer in game and definitely needs a nerf, I would recommend a 10 out of 10 that it's definitely an S tier spec. And I think we all agree that Hpal needs nerfed. Buff Wrestle Druid, buff Shaman, buff Mistweaver, buff Disc. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace, peace.